a host of unemployed citizens face the grim problem of existence, and the savings of many years in thousands of families are gone. Only a foolish optimist can deny the dark realities of the moment. This nation is asking for action, and action now. Our greatest primary task is to put people to work. Happiness lies not in the mere possession of money. It lies in the joy of achievement, in the thrill of creative effort, the joy, the moral stimulation of work. Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
The Great Depression, the dirty 30s, the Dust Bowl days, the time when all seemed lost in America. The years leading up to the Great Depression, the 1920s, were a roller coaster ride of prosperity. The money boom in America seemed endless. But on October 29th, 1929, a day known as Black Tuesday, some 16 million shares of stock were traded when a wave of panic swept Wall Street. The stock market, which had appeared to be the surest way to become rich, quickly became the path to bankruptcy. As consumer confidence vanished in the wake of the stock market crash, the downturn in spending and investment led factories and other businesses to slow down production and construction and begin firing their workers. For those who were lucky enough to remain employed, wages fell and buying power decreased. Many Americans, forced to buy on credit, fell into debt, and the number of foreclosures and repossessions steadily increased. Shantytowns, dubbed Hoovervilles, after the president, who many blamed for the Depression, began to spring up throughout the country. In extreme cases, people slept under newspapers, fought over contents of garbage cans, and cooked their findings in oil drums. Hoover was clueless as to what to do during this cruel time. In times of prosperity, he would have been a great leader. Hoover was a Republican who had formerly served as the U.S. Secretary of Commerce and believed that government should not directly intervene in the economy and that it did not have the responsibility to create jobs or provide economic relief for its citizens. In 1932, however, with the country deep into the Great Depression and some 13 to 15 million people jobless, Hoover finally had to implement welfare programs for many citizens. Despite this, he still faced major criticism as a leader. The measures he took may have been delayed, but they probably prevented a more serious collapse than what did occur. The main cause of the Great Depression was over-speculation in both farm and factory. The nation's ability to produce goods had outrun its ability to consume or pay for them. The Great Depression was so much worse than any other time of economic downfall in America because it was felt all around the world. The adherence to the gold standard, which joined countries around the world in a fixed currency exchange, helped spread the Depression from the United States throughout the world, especially in Europe. Also, the European continent had never fully recovered from the losses of World War I. The rising star of the Democratic Party was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. After overcoming sickness when he was younger, Roosevelt learned patience, compassion, and strength, tools that would be helpful in fighting the Depression. Roosevelt promised a new deal for every man and gave hope that the American people would get out of the Depression. With America so far down in the dumps, Hoover had little chance of being reelected. Roosevelt won the election of 1932 by a landslide. One important feature of this election was the switch in black voters from the traditional Republican Party of Lincoln over to Democratic Roosevelt. One important asset that Roosevelt carried throughout his presidency was his wife, Eleanor Roosevelt, who was by far the most progressive First Lady. Eleanor powerfully influenced the policies of the national government and battled for the impoverished and the oppressed. Roosevelt took quick action to attack the Depression, calling for the 3 R's: relief, recovery, and reform. He declared a 4-day bank holiday during which Congress passed the Emergency Banking Relief Act to stabilize the banking system. During the first 100 days of his administration, Roosevelt laid the groundwork for his New Deal remedies that would rescue the country from the depths of despair. These New Deal programs were most commonly known by their initials, which reminded some people of alphabet soup. Some of these programs were aimed at helping farmers, like the AAA, Agricultural Adjustment Administration, while other programs, such as the CCC, Civilian Conservation Corps, and the WPA, Works Progress Administration, attempted to help curb unemployment by hiring people for various projects. In previous experiences, farmers were usually safe from the severe effects of a depression because they could at least feed themselves. Unfortunately, during the Great Depression, the Great Plains were hit hard with both a drought and terrible dust storms, creating what became known as the Dust Bowl. Years and years of overgrazing, combined with the effects of a drought, caused the grass to disappear. With just topsoil exposed, high winds picked up the loose dirt and whirled it for miles. The dust storms destroyed everything in their paths, leaving farmers without their crops. In the 1930s, the people tried to turn their backs on the world's problems and attempt to fix their own. Roosevelt eventually ended this period after the attack on Pearl Harbor vaulted the United States into war. This is what ultimately led to the end of the Great Depression. Only when the federal government imposed rationing, recruited 6 million defense workers, including women and African Americans, drafted 6 million soldiers, and ran massive deficits to fight World War II did the Great Depression finally end.